Lee Minute-ho and Song Hye Kyo in explosive hotel room showdown. Shocking truth finally revealed. The Hallyu world has been thrown into chaos after reports confirmed that top Korean stars Lee Minute-ho and Song Hye Kyo were involved in a fiery confrontation behind closed doors at a luxury hotel in Busan. What was meant to be a romantic escape quickly turned into a shocking unraveling of secrets, accusations, and emotional chaos that left hotel staff shaken and fans around the world stunned. It all started with a simple reservation. Sources reveal that Lee Minute-ho had booked a secluded presidential suite for 3 nights at the Ocean Crown Hotel, a 5-star seaside resort known for its extreme privacy and luxury. The reservation was made under a private alias, but staff quickly pieced together who the guests were when Song Hye Kyo arrived late Friday evening in a navy blue trench coat and oversized sunglasses. At first, everything seemed perfect. Eyewitnesses reported that the couple was seen holding hands at the rooftop restaurant, whispering to each other and laughing softly. Song Hye Kyo looked radiant in a silk dress, and Lee Minute-ho could not take his eyes off her. Fans who recognized them respected their privacy, though many took silent photos from a distance. The energy between the two was electric. But by midnight, everything had changed. Guests staying in rooms surrounding the suite began calling the front desk, complaining of loud shouting, the sound of furniture being moved, and what one guest described as a storm of emotions crashing through the walls. A hotel staff member, who requested anonymity, shared that security was dispatched to the room after a staff phone line picked up raised voices and muffled sobs. When security arrived, they found the suite in complete disarray. Pillows had been thrown, curtains were drawn tightly, and the couple stood on opposite sides of the room, facing away from each other. Lee Minute-ho's face was red with emotion, and Song Hye Kyo had tears streaming down her cheeks. A half-eaten dinner sat untouched on the glass table, and 2 glasses of champagne had been knocked over, their contents soaking into a velvet chair. No one knows exactly what sparked the confrontation, but several insiders believe it was triggered by a message Song Hye Kyo had received earlier that evening. A former assistant, speaking under strict confidentiality, said the message was from someone in Lee Minute-ho's past, someone who claimed he had never truly moved on from a previous relationship. Song Hye Kyo allegedly confronted him with the message, and from there, everything spiraled. "You promised me honesty," she reportedly shouted, her voice echoing through the suite. "And I gave it," Lee Minute-ho replied, his tone filled with restrained fury. "But you only hear what you want to hear." At one point, according to another source, Song Hye Kyo picked up a photo frame from the table, a picture of them from their trip to Prague, and stared at it for nearly a full minute before quietly placing it down and walking toward the door. Lee Minute-ho blocked her path. They stood there, eye to eye, in silence. Hotel staff said they heard Song Hye Kyo's voice crack as she said, "I can't do this anymore." That was when hotel management made the decision to intervene. A senior security officer gently knocked on the door and offered assistance. Lee Minute-ho, holding back visible frustration, asked for privacy, while Song Hye Kyo walked into the bedroom, closing the door behind her. But by dawn, the decision was made. Song Hye Kyo checked out first. Dressed in casual jeans and a hoodie, with no makeup and swollen eyes, she walked out of the lobby with her head down. Her driver opened the door, and she entered the car without saying a word. Paparazzi, who had been tipped off, managed to capture a few silent shots before the car sped away. Lee Minute-ho remained behind. Sources say he did not leave his suite all day. Housekeeping was turned away. Food was left untouched at his door. A handwritten note was slipped under the door by a staff member who said he felt sorry for the star. No one knows what the note said. By evening, rumors had already exploded online. Fans were torn. Some defended Lee Minute-ho, insisting something deeper must have triggered the scene. Others supported Song Hye Kyo, flooding her social media with heart emojis and messages of comfort. Hashtags like #ProtectSongHyeKyo and #SupportLeeMinute-ho began trending globally within hours. To make matters worse, an audio clip allegedly recorded by a neighboring guest began circulating online. The clip, though muffled, includes phrases like "How long were you going to hide this?" and "You should have told me from the beginning." The voices, while not clearly identifiable, have only fueled speculation. Both agencies have remained silent. Neither Lee Min-ho nor Song Hye Kyo has made an official statement. Reporters camped outside their residences, waiting for a sign, a word, a reaction. But the silence has only deepened the mystery. Those closest to them say this could mark the end of what many believed was one of the most powerful relationships in Hallyu history. A stylist who worked with both stars during a magazine shoot said, "They were like magnets. Always drawn to each other. Even when they fought, you could feel how deep their connection was. But sometimes, the deeper the connection, the harder the fall." And what a fall this has been. Some speculate that this fight may have been the breaking point after months of tension and emotional exhaustion. Others believe there is more to the story than either side is willing to admit. A close friend of Lee Min-ho recently told reporters, "He's hurting. He's hurting more than he ever has." Whatever happened in that room wasn't just about a message. It was about years of love, fear, secrets, and pressure. The hotel has since cleared the suite. A cleaning staff member claimed she found a crumpled piece of paper near the fireplace, a note scribbled with the words "maybe in another life," believed to be written by Song Hye Kyo. No one knows where she is now. No one knows what Lee Min-ho's next move will be. But what is certain is this: something shattered that night. Not just furniture or peace, but something far more fragile and sacred. Their story, once a dream, has turned into a storm. And the world is watching, breathless, waiting to see if that storm will pass or consume them both. Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo reunited after hotel fight. What really saved their love? Just when the world believed it was truly over between Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo, fate had something else in store. After days of chaos, speculation, and a silence that screamed louder than words, new and exclusive details have surfaced, revealing that the storm that tore them apart may have been the very thing that pulled them back together. The emotional wreckage following their explosive confrontation at the Ocean Crown Hotel was undeniable. Fans wept. Reporters waited. Even industry insiders were left in the dark. But behind the scenes, something surprising was unfolding, a story of two hearts trying to find their way back to each other. It began with a letter. 3 days after Song Hye Kyo walked out of the hotel, Lee Min-ho was seen leaving his residence in Seoul late at night. He wore a grey hoodie and cap, face hidden, but his purpose was crystal clear. Sources say he flew to Jigu Island alone. Not for a vacation. Not for a shoot. But for something more personal. It turns out Song Hye Kyo had quietly retreated to a private beach house owned by a longtime friend. Away from cameras. Away from social media. Away from everything. Lee Min-ho did not go uninvited. According to a mutual friend, he sent her a handwritten note, placed inside a hardcover book they once read together during their time in Switzerland. The note was short, raw, and real. "I broke the trust, but I never stopped loving you. If there's still one last page for us, let me write it with you." She didn't respond. But 3 days later, as the sun rose over the cliffs of Jeju, Lee Min-ho was spotted standing at the edge of the beach house garden, staring out at the ocean. Moments later, Song Hye Kyo appeared. Eyewitnesses say she walked slowly toward him. No bodyguards. No entourage. Just her, in a cream sweater, her hair in a loose bun, barefoot in the sand. What happened next was pure cinematic poetry. They didn't speak at first. They just stood in silence, eyes locked. And then, she stepped forward, and he reached out. In a moment that could melt even the coldest hearts, she rested her head on his chest, and he wrapped his arms around her. No words. No explanations. Just emotion. A drone photo, captured by a fan from afar, now circulates across fan pages, the two of them holding each other against the backdrop of crashing waves and golden sunrise. Fans have titled it "The Hug That Healed." Later that evening, a statement was released by both agencies, not denying the hotel incident, but confirming something far more powerful. All couples experience moments of silence and storms. What matters is the journey back. Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo are choosing to walk that path together again. Privately. Respectfully. With love. The internet went into an emotional frenzy. Messages of joy, hope, and healing flooded every corner of social media. Hashtags like #LeeKyoForever, #HealingHappens, and #love wins started trending within minutes. Fans cried openly on live streams. Artists began sketching fan art. Even celebrities from both Korea and abroad began posting cryptic heart emojis, hinting at support for the beloved couple. But what really changed? A close friend of Song Hye Kyo revealed that after the hotel fight, she went through a period of deep reflection. She cried a lot, the friend shared. Not because of anger, but because she still loved him and didn't know if love was enough. On the other hand, Lee Min-ho is said to have completely disconnected from the world for several days. He cancelled all interviews, shut off his phone, and wrote in his journal every single night. According to a manager, the only thing he kept beside his bed was a framed photo of them, taken in secret during their first weekend together in Jeju years ago. They both realized something that so many couples forget. Love is not always soft. Sometimes, it shouts. Sometimes, it slams doors and walks out. But real love finds its way back, not because it's perfect, but because it's real. Now, insiders say the two are taking things slow. They've decided to spend some time away from the spotlight. No public dates. No statements. Just the two of them, learning to communicate again, this time with more honesty and less fear. They are reportedly planning a quiet trip to Tuscany in the coming weeks, not for drama, not for appearances, but simply to breathe. To walk in silence. To laugh again. To find their rhythm as two people who still believe in the promise of forever. A fan who once saw them together at a film festival said, "They looked like two souls who had been searching for each other for lifetimes." I don't think that kind of bond just disappears. And maybe it doesn't. Maybe their hotel room fight was not the end of a love story, but the breaking of a wall. Maybe it was the necessary thunder before the calm. The painful truth before the beautiful rebirth. Today, Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo are no longer just a couple adored for their fame and looks. They are now something more. A symbol of what love looks like when it falls, shatters, and chooses to rise again. Their story isn't perfect. But it's real. And sometimes, that's exactly what the world needs.